friends, it's yet another Tuesday, and as usual, week in, week out, I endeavor to bring you nothing but the best in terms of nutrition information. And today, we are going to discuss calories. If you're new to this channel, you're very welcome, but you've missed out on a lot. In the previous weeks, we discussed the food groups, and we ended up with discussing dairy or milk and milk products the other week, which concludes the 6 Zambian food groups. And today, I want us to first of all start with calories. I'm sure you've heard of this term a lot. Kilocalories or calories, the two are used interchangeably, okay? So whether I say kilocalories or calories, I mean the same thing. It's not like kilo 1000 and calories. Technically, yeah, but not in this case. Kilocalories and calories are used interchangeably. And what really they are is basically the measure of food energy, that is. The same way that you would measure your weight in kilograms. It's the same thing with energy. So it's either measured in kilojoules, kJ, or kilocalories, KCAL. And the common one is usually kilocalories. So try to stick to kilocalories, though I was trained in kilojoules. I understand kilojoules better than I do kilocalories. I always have to convert kilocalories to kilojoules to make sense of it. And the reason why I really think it's important for you to at least know the basics of it is so that you make better food choices, but also so that you understand why, as nutritionists and dietitians, we put certain restrictions to foods, we put certain restrictions to portions. It's not to just make your life miserable like others would think. So when we say eat ice cream less often, choose better cooking methods like roasting and not frying, I want you to understand the why behind it so that you don't feel like these people are just haters.
Did you know that fried plantain has over 1,000 calories?
Okay, we didn't know. We didn't know it.
So then what do you want us to do now? So we should start frying stone.
Why are you people so against happiness? They just don't like nice things. They just don't want me to enjoy life. No, we want you to enjoy life responsibly. We want you to enjoy life by making good food choices. First and foremost, the average amount of kilocalories that an adult, you and me, should consume is about 2,100 kilocalories. On average, if you want to know how much kilocalories you specifically need, go to Google and Google estimated energy requirements, or what we call the EER. It's an online calculator. It will ask you a few questions. What is your weight, your height, and then it will give you your estimated energy requirements. But on average, for this example, I'm going to use 2,100 kilocalories. But on average, there are other people who still consume more than they need. Even if, let's say, your estimated energy requirement for your weight is, let's say, 3,000, you find that you're probably consuming way more than you actually need. And that's what results in weight gain. And you'll be wondering to say, how come I'm gaining so much weight? I don't understand. I don't eat much. It's not about eating much. It's about how much food energy is in what you eat, however little you think it is. Or you could be losing weight and you do not understand why. And there are a number of reasons one can lose weight, but when it comes to diet, it could be that you're not consuming enough of energy. You know, like the 2,100 kilocalories, look at it as money, right? Like you wake up every morning and you are handed 2,100 kwacha cash. Go about your day, spend it on food. Now you're going to sit back and say, okay, in the morning, I'll spend 600 kwacha. And then in the afternoon, lunchtime, I'll spend 700 kwacha. And then in the evening, I'm going to spend another, let's say, 400 kwacha, 400, 500 kwacha. And that's how you're going to divide that amount of money. Or you're going to say, I'll just take everything, 2,100 kwacha at breakfast. And then lunchtime, wambo kapa kapa mess. Then you say, but I'm still hungry. So now what you do is you make an overdraft. The money for tomorrow, you are now going to take away from it. Let's say you take away 500. So the balance for the other day now that you are left with is less 500 kwacha. And that's how we make overdrafts every day, resulting in gain weight or bankruptcy. The more you make an overdraft, to get to a point where you are basically now owing way too much money. And in the case of nutrition, you are now going to gain excess amount of weight. So I would like to just give you some examples of foods and how much they weigh. So let's talk of our beloved Nshima. Nshima is good, and I'm not going to demonize Nshima because you are going to come after me. Nshima is golden in Zambia. We salute. But let's say How much do you think in terms of food energy is in this piece of Nshima? Mind you, you have how much? 2,100 kilocalories per day to consume. So if this is your Nshima, I'll tell you 1/3 of this piece of Nshima. The same Nshima, you divide it in 3. So 1/3, probably just this piece here, is about 300 kilojoules, about 72 kilocalories. So the whole Nshima now gets to about 215 kilocalories. Just this Nshima. And remember, from the cereal, starchy roots, and tuber video, I said it's about a fist size. And how much did we say you need per day? 2,100. Not of Nshima alone, of all the foods you're going to eat in the day. Now, if you're going to eat 2 fist sizes of Nshima at lunch, it will probably look like this. Let me put it on a plate. So that's about 215 plus 215, that is 430 kilocalories. You haven't added the relish, the vegetable, the whatever, nothing yet. Just Nshima alone, 430 kilocalories. So by the time you're getting to 2,100, isn't that just lunch alone? So that's why we say stick to a fist size or 2 fist sizes, especially if you are not physically active. Because this calculator that I've talked to you about, the EER, Estimated Energy Requirements Calculator, it will also ask for your physical activity level. So if you are not that physically active, and get down to the physical activity level part, and it's going to show you the different physical activity. So sedentary lifestyle, it will give you some examples of what it means by sedentary. Basically, you are behind the computer most of the time. You're a stay-at-home mom. You do very light chores, just drop the kids to work and get back home, watch some Telemundo, and maybe cook here and there, do some gardening. That is more or less sedentary. And then there's moderate, mild, and heavy physical activity. So all that has to be factored in when you're looking at estimated energy requirements, right? But on average, 2,100, and this alone is 430 kilocalories. So let's look at something else in the cereals, starchy roots, and tubers, and the popular bread. So a slice of bread like this one should be 30 grams. So check that your baker is not gongaring you. 300 kilojoules, which is about 72 kilocalories. Just this one slice. Now, on average, I know in Zambia we consume about 4 slices of bread. I don't know who came up with that as a standard, but I see that's the standard in most homes. So 4 slices of bread then will give you 287 kilocalories. Mind you, you haven't yet put your margarine, you haven't yet put your jam or whatever it is you like to have on your bread. Just the bread alone. So let's look at something else within the same group, a snack, a cup of popcorn. And when we say a cup, it's this. So just this cup of popcorn is 72 kilocalories. Now, how many of you just eat this and you are full? No. When you are snacking, it's usually a whole bowl of popcorn and you are all dipping in. Or even you alone, you have a whole bowl of popcorn. And so that can even go up to a whopping 1,000 kilocalories of energy. That is like half of what you need in a day. It's not like you're going to eat this as your food for the day. It's going to just be a snack. And if it's a snack, 1,000 kilocalories a snack, that is way too much. You cannot have half the amount of energy that you need coming from a snack. And so now it gives you an idea why, especially with young children, we say give them real food first, a good meal, and then the others become no more or less like additions. So if you're going to give your child popcorn before a real meal, they're already eating half the amount of energy that they need per day, and even more sometimes. And then before the real meal comes, they've already consumed way too much in terms of energy. Real food now, the real meal becomes excess. I'm seeing a lot of children becoming obese. Just 2013, 2014, the Zambia Demographic and Health Survey told us that obesity among children was only about 1%. And now we are at 5% of children who are obese. And I do not know what the next survey will show us, but most likely an increase. So we need to do something about it. If you're going to also buy packaged foods, I would like you to also pay attention to the information panel, because this is for you. It's for you to understand. So behind the pack, this is the pack of popcorns, the same popcorn that I was showing you here. Behind the pack, you see that it has 550 kilojoules of energy. Remember, I said energy is either in kilojoules or kilocalories, and I hope you are now seeing how I'm converting or why I'm converting, because some packaged foods will only give you the energy in kilojoules and not in kilocalories, so you need to know the conversion. So 1 kilocalorie is equal to 4.18 kilojoules. This 550 is about 131 kilocalories of energy. And I will continue reminding you that the average is 2,100 per person per day. For a snack, anything around 100 to 200 kilocalories is okay as a snack. I would even push it to 250 kilocalories for a snack is not a bad idea. But keep it small. Your main meals like breakfast, lunch, especially breakfast and lunch. I'm not really worried about supper, because with supper, the problem is you eat and then you're not using that energy. You eat and then you go and sleep. I would actually want you not to have supper, especially if you're an adult. But breakfast and lunch should have the biggest amount of calories, up to even 700 kilocalories. 700 at breakfast and 700 at lunch. Already that is like what, 1,400. And then the in-betweens, of course, then you can have supper around 300, 400 kilocalories. That would be okay. But the bulk should be way early, because you need that energy during the day. That's why people actually gain weight, because you make sure that your supper is big, yet you do not use that energy. And that's not a good thing. When it comes to fruits, look at this apple here. This apple weighs 115 grams. What will give you 250 kilojoules? So this apple you see me holding here contains 60 kilocalories of food energy. Now, mind you, the apples I see on the streets are like double or triple this. So that one big apple that you consume most likely is equivalent to 3 fruits. A single portion is this one. So when you're going to go for something larger than this, you should count it as 2 fruits. The same with a banana or any other fruits that you consume, it would be more. Moving along, cooking oil, and we love to fry. What I'm holding here is 1 tablespoon of cooking oil. And a tablespoon contains 3 teaspoons of cooking oil. So here, 9 by 3 is 45 kilocalories, because 1 teaspoon is 9 kilocalories of energy. So these 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of cooking oil is 45 kilocalories. Now, how much oil do you use to, let's say, fry an egg? I do not think it's this amount. Be honest. It is more than this. Probably even a whole cup for some people. See, that's the whole idea of me doing this video, is to help you visualize the different energy in foods, so that you're able to eyeball to say, I've put too much or I've put too little, and so on and so forth. You're able to eyeball your food and say, oh, this has a lot of energy, this is a lot of ishima, and so on. When it comes to beans or your pulses, this is half a cup of beans. Remember, we say beans contains both carbohydrates and protein, so it counts as a very lean protein, and it also counts as a carbohydrate. So just this alone, 97 kilocalories. When it comes to milk, for example, dairy, this is what a cup of milk looks like, and this is full cream milk. A cup of full cream milk will be about 640 kilojoules, which is equivalent to 150 kilocalories. Vegetables. In the vegetable video, I remember telling you how I love this group, because you can really eat as much as you can and you will really not gain too much weight. Just this is calendula, guys. Calendula is sweet potato leaves, by the way. So a cup of calendula like this is only 54. So if I doubled this again, it will only give me like what, 108. Now compare the popcorn, which was almost like 100, and this, which is 108, plus like double of this is what gives me 108. And that's why we said veggie. You cannot really go wrong with increasing your vegetable intake, because not only are you getting less energy, but you're also getting full on very little energy. So you do not actually consume too much calories from vegetables, yet you are eating so much. So let's start eating foods with that mindset of knowing how much exactly is in these foods. Till then, keep watching.
My sister, nobody's forcing you. Take your unhappiness and go. But please leave plantain for us. Okay? Nonsense. You can never take my joy.